between this government and the opposition. There's nothing they have to offer. This government has been the greatest that Jamaica has seen. And Andrew Holness government has done more for this country than any other government before them. And if Jamaica look at that, there is no guessing where we will be. And I have no doubt that we will have the third term. Third term is assured. And Michael Holness will be going back to Jamaica House and Parliament as the Prime Minister after election. I want to at this time look at the ancestry of Mark Golding. Mark Golding went down to Cambridge and said, I'm from here because my ancestral roots, my father, Logan Levy, was born in Cambridge. That's not what Logan Levy said years ago. Either Mark Golding's a damn liar or he's calling his grandfather a liar. But it can't be correct. We growing up have the concept or the belief that the only slave owners that we have in Jamaica was some white Christian guy from England. Is not so, you know? Not only Christian owned slaves here. You have white Jews from England that own slaves in Jamaica also. You have Jews who own slaves, not only Christian in Jamaica. And Mark Golding started with Logan Levy. But that's not where he should have started. He should have started with Benjamin Nunes and Esther Nunes. But brothers and sisters, the journey is long. Victory is sweet. Victory is sweet. I can smell the victory. I can taste the victory. My brothers and sisters, hold on! Hold on! Hold on! Victory is ours! Victory is ours! The third term is on its way.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. And before we talk about today's discussion, I want to emphasize on something, that this video is purely for educational purposes and I'm not here to take sides or endorse any particular viewpoint. We are all here to learn from the insights shared by the speaker, and I'll be analyzing from the diverse perspectives found in the comment in the comment section, and indeed I, as your host, am also learning alongside you. So this is a space for informed discussions and critical thinking. So guys, today I want us to talk about something very powerful and without a doubt a controversial speech that recently emerged from Jamaica. This speech was delivered by Jamaica's Liberty Party Member of Parliament Everald Warmington at a conference held in South Central St. Catherine. And in his address, Mr. Warmington passionately praises Minister Andrew Holness and the Jamaica Labour Party government. However, the pivots to launch a series of devastating accusations against the leadership of the opposition, Mark Golding. So the core of his claims center on Mr. Golding's ancestry and his inherited wealth, which Warmington explicitly links to slave-owning roots. So this raw, emotional and deep political commentary that has sparked considerably a considerably debate. Warmington, known for his direct style truly does not pull any punches in this speech. He meticulously traces Mark Golding's lineage back to Benjamin Nunes, whom he identifies as a major slave owner in Jamaica's history. From his genealogical link, Warmington frames Golding's inherited wealth as slave money, arguing vehemently that it is Mr. Golding rather than the British government who should be responsible for paying reparations. Guys, furthermore, he directly accuses Golding of dishonestly regarding his grandfather's origins and even questions his very legitimacy as a Jamaican leader. So this complex mix of ancestry, inherited wealth, race, and the highly charged topic of reparations makes this speech undeniably explosive. It compels us to grapple with some significant questions, like, to what extent should a leader's lineage define them in the present day? Does inherited wealth, particularly if its origins are tied to the institution of slavery, create moral obligations for descendants today? And how does this entire discourse fit into the intricate and often passionate political climate of Jamaica? So, guys, in the next few minutes, we will systematically break down each of Warmington's claims, react to the palpable emotional charge of his delivery, and explore the broader historical and political context that gives this speech its profound significance. So guys, let us get into this, and I'll be back with my further commentary.
Deputy Leader, colleagues, labor rights. Good afternoon. I'm honored to be back here again to support Dr. Andrew Wheatley. And I may say that it's a prelude to what's coming next month. Next month, your Council 2 will close off with a gospel concert on the 13th of July in Old Harbour. We're closing off next month on the 13th. I want to say at this time that there is no comparison between this government and the opposition. There's nothing they have to offer. This government has been the greatest that Jamaica has seen. And Andrew Holness government has done more for this country than any other government before them. And if Jamaica look at that, there is no guessing where we will be. And I have no doubt that we will have the third term.
Yeah, watch boss, set the trend, set the trend. We set the trend.
Look, we have 49 seats. There were 14. And I can tell you after election, they will have 14 because we're going to take some of theirs.
We are beat them bad, step out and
We're going to take
we are
some.
beat them bad. From head to toe, we are beat them bad. Big hoochie collection.
So they can stop nonsense. Third term is assured. And Michael Holness will be going back to Jamaica House and Parliament as the Prime Minister after election. I want to at this time look at the ancestry of Mark Golding. Mark Golding went down to Cambridge and said, I'm from here because my ancestral roots, my father, Logan Levy, was born in Cambridge. That's not what Logan Levy said years ago. Either Mark Golding's a damn liar or he's calling his grandfather a liar. But it can't be correct. We growing up have the concept or the belief that the only slave owners that we have in Jamaica was some white Christian guy from England. Is not so, you know? Not only Christian owned slaves here. You have white Jews from England that own slaves in Jamaica also. You have Jews who own slaves, not only Christians in Jamaica. And Mark Golding started with Logan Levy. But that's not where he should have started. He should have started with Benjamin Nunes and Esther Nunes. Those are his great-grandfather and great-grandmother. Benjamin Nunes was one of the largest slave owners in Jamaica before the abolition of slavery. I'm going to give you a history. What he willed. On April 18, 1835, the will of Benjamin Nunes was probated. And it starts like this. Jamaica, in the name of God, amen. That is Mark Golding, great-grandfather, we owned the slave. He said, I, Benjamin Nunes, of the parish of St. James, the county of Cornwall of Jamaica, being weak in body, and of sound mind. This is my last will and testimony. Whereas, instead, 2 instruments when by him trust a house from a man named Dr. William Gordon. And he said there, whereas I'm entitled to compensation from the British government for a great number of slaves that you have to set free. That is what Mark Golding, great-grandfather, said. In the abolition, he may expect compensation from England for him say, what he call it? A great number of slaves in my possession. The slave were to be freed over a period of time and then called the apprenticeship between then and 1838. He left his estate to his wife, Esther Nunes. Come here. He have 8 children. Esther Nunes, Benjamin Nunes have 8 children. There are Robert, Sarah, Maria, Benjamin, Raphael, Matilda, Emily, and Charles. All right? Matilda, listen here, Matilda. Matilda was the 6th of the 8 children. Benjamin Nunes and Esther Nunes, being Jews, Mark Golding Jew too. All right? Let me tell you clear. So Matilda Nunes, one of Benjamin Nunes' daughter. So I'm going to tell the lineage now that come down to Mark Golding. Benjamin Nunes begot Matilda Nunes. Matilda Nunes married to Henry Tyson. Matilda Nunes begot Henry Isaac Tyson Jr. Henry Isaac Tyson begot Isabel Tyson. Isabel Tyson begot Logan Levy. Logan Levy begot Alice Levy Golding. Alice Levy begot who? Mark Golding. So I tell you right down from a slave come down. Mark Golding claimed that Logan Levy was born in Cambridge, St. James. That's an assault. Logan Levy wrote, I, Logan Levy, was born in Havana, Cuba, not St. James, as Mark Golding says. He said he renounces Cuban citizenship to take up United States citizenship. He said, it is my bona fide intention to renounce forever all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state or sovereignty, and particularly Cuba, of whom I was a subject. So can you born up Cambridge, St. James? The man saying born up Cuba. So when Mark claims he's one of us, become born down there, either he's a liar or he's calling his grandfather Logan Levy a liar. Himself come from that. He's not one of us. Andrew Holness is one of us. Born from a slave. Mark Golding descendant from a slave owner. And he inherited the slave money. He inherited the money from England that they paid to his great-grandfather for slave. So I'm coming down to that. As I say, it's not one of us, but one of the slave owners who are our destroyers and oppressors. Those plantation owners who raped, starved, and mistreat our foreparents. They rape and follow them, mistreat them, suffer them. That is what Mark Golding came from, not from one of us. So you can cut that out. Benjamin Eunice left his will in his property to 8 children, tenant in common. It means it transcends throughout the family. So some of Mark Golding wealth came from that whole money. Because it came through the slavery compensation to Matilda Nunes, to Henry Tyson, Isabel Tyson, Logan Levy, Alice Levy, and Mark Golding. Tenant in common. So all the money get to his wealth, and that whole money that came from compensation. So he can't say my one away. Not one of us. It came from that which came from his slave that his grandfather owned. Today, the descendant of slaves should not be looking to Britain for reparation. Black people shouldn't call upon England for reparation. Black people must call on those who inherit the money from their ancestors. We must call on them, not the British government. The British government paid them. So them to pay the reparations if reparations to be paid. What I will say, time come for Mark Golding to pay reparation to Jamaica. Descendants of slaves, his grandparents owned, and the slave money he inherited from them.
Old pirates, yes, they rabbi, sold I to the merchant ship.
So I'm saying here, time comes for Mark Golding to pay black people the money he earned from his great-grandfather from the compensation from England. Okay? So instead of Jamaican even thinking of electing him, Jamaica must all call on Mark Golding to pay us the compensation that he earned, the money he earned from his slave money and his ancestors. In thought with Logan Levy that he should start with Benjamin Eunice first. He went on platform in Trenchtown to show the mentality of a slave owner by shaking shame upon a black man. We can't allow that to go to make a house. The chain will bomb me back day and night. Comparing Mark Golding with Andrew Michael Holness is like comparing cheese to chalk. I said the other day that they have no chance in this country. Jamaican can't give up on a freeway for what take a Jewish man when who won us long time ago. Andrew Holness came from the bowel of the slaves. He came from the plantocracy. We don't want it no more. At this stage, they are so damn desperate. They can't find nobody to campaign for them, as I said before. Then go for the sick, lame, dying and dead to come campaign. Look on KD night, then take him out for the hospital bed. Put him in a walker to come talk. Then the nurses go for practice, can't even talk for them. Then go for Bobby Pickers Gill. In the earth, put in a wheelchair to come talk for them. Then for poor Portia Simpson, the husband locked the door and hide out from them. You know, one and take out for campaign. And if you go to Heroes Park, I said before, if you go to Heroes Park, there are extra security down there to guard Michael Manley grave and they will take him up on campaign too. It means they can't find nobody. It means they are blank up in idea. It means they are done. And if you're calling it dead to it, what do you do? You're not dead too? So Marky G and all of them. But brothers and sisters, the journey is long. Victory is sweet. Victory is sweet. I can smell the victory. I can taste the victory. My brothers and sisters, hold on! Hold on! Hold on! Victory is ours. Victory is ours. The third term is on its way.
Before I give my further analysis, I want to extend my sincere gratitude to the speaker of this clip. Your work is invaluable in bringing these important conversations to light, and thank you for sharing these moments with the wider public. So I want us to dissect Mr. Warmington's speech point by point. Number one, there is the context and government praise, setting the stage for support. Warmington begins his address by unequivocally lauding Prime Minister Holness and the Jamaica Labour Party. He projects a confident vision, predicting a decisive third-term victory for JLP, even going so far as to forecast an impressive win with 49 seats. This opening segment serves as a robust firewall of support designed to energize and rally JLP loyalists. It effectively establishes a tone of confidence and unwavering belief in his party's leadership. This is in essence campaign messaging 101. Before launching any offensive, solidify your base and express strong confidence in your own team. It sets the emotional and political stage for what is to follow. Number two, let us talk about ancestral attack, a direct challenge to heritage. Following this initial praise, Warmington sharply pivots to a direct and pointed attack on Mark Golding's heritage. He presents what he claims is genealogical evidence linking Golding directly to Benjamin Nunes, asserting that Nunes was a significant slave owner responsible for the forced labor of hundreds of enslaved people. Warmington then goes ahead to argue that Golding inherited what he terms slave money through compensation received by his ancestors after the abolition of slavery. Well, this is profoundly emotive and undeniably divisive. It represents a deliberate use of historical lineage as a weapon to question and undermine present-day leadership. This line of attack treads sharply into complex moral territory where the inheritance of wealth derived from profoundly unjust practices is leveraged as a political tool. The implication is clear. Golding's very foundation as a leader is tainted by this historical connection. Number 3, reparations reframed. There is the controversial shift in accountability, and perhaps one of the most audacious claims in Warmington's speech is his redefinition of the reparations narrative. Rather than pointing the finger at Britain as the primary entity responsible for reparations, Warmington asserts that Mark Golding himself should be the one to pay, given that his family allegedly received compensation following abolition of slavery, of course. So this argument fundamentally flips the traditional reparations narrative on its head, shifting accountability not from colonial governments or institutions, but to individuals directly tied to past injustice through their ancestry and inherited wealth. It is crucial to understand that the concept of reparations typically targets governments, or large institutions that historically benefited from or perpetuated slavery. So Warmington's argument for individual accountability, if taken seriously, could drastically reshape public debates surrounding justice, historical wrongs, and of course the mechanisms for addressing them, for addressing all these allegations. And it introduces a new dimension to the discussion, moving beyond state-centric approaches. Number 4, the attack on credibility and questioning honesty and trustworthiness. And beyond the issue of lineage, Warmington directly attacks Golding's personal credibility. He labels Golding's a damn liar regarding Golding's claim that his grandfather was born in Jamaica. Warmington alleges instead that Golding's grandfather, Logan Levy, was actually born in Cuba. So this is more than just a historical correction. It's a direct assault on Golding's honesty and trustworthiness. And the insinuation is that if Golding has been dishonest about something as fundamental as his family's origins, then he may be prone to misleading the Jamaican people in matters of government and leadership. It aims to erode public trust in him. And then there is point number 5, that I'll talk about race and identity politics, drawing lines of division. Warmington escalates his rhetoric further by making statements such as Jamaica can't give up to take a Jewish man, and issuing a warning that Golding is not one of us. Well, this specific language carries the significant risk of inflaming racial and religious tensions within the Jamaican society. And why is this something that matters? This plays directly into identity-based political strategy, deliberately drawing lines between us, implying those who are truly Jamaican or represent the majority, and other, in this case, a minority group. In a diverse nation like Jamaica, such a move can have serious social implications, potentially fostering division and prejudice within the population. It aims to create an insider versus outsider narrative. Number 6, the emotional tone and mobilization. Warmington's call to passion. And Warmington's delivery through the speech is highly charged, imbued with a palpable sense of urgency and indignation. He vividly evokes the brutality of slavery, referencing how enslavers raped, starved, and mistreated our foreparents. He then skillfully flips this historical trauma to demand immediate accountability from Golding. This style is meticulously designed to stir deep emotion and fierce loyalty among his supporters. And you see, Warmington masterfully blends historical grievances with contemporary politics, aiming to energize his base while this simultaneously undermining and delegitimizing the opposition leader. It's a powerful tactic to sway public opinion through emotional appeal. And then Warmington tries to redefine the bigger picture, defining who gets to lead Jamaica. Ultimately, this speech transcends a mere attack on Mark Golding as an individual. It fundamentally interrogates the larger question of who legitimately gets to lead Jamaica. It forces a critical examination of whether political legitimacy should primarily be determined by a leader's policies, their vision, or their competence, or if it should instead be defined by their origins, their lineage, or inherited privilege. And as viewers, we are left to ponder: are we comfortable with this particular kind of political framing? Should a candidate's lineage be a more significant factor than their proven competence or their articulated vision for the people or for the nation? I'm genuinely interested in your thoughts on this, and please let me know your perspectives in the comments below. And as we continue to dive deeper into this complex issue right now, and as I come to give my final thoughts, I want us to move and explore this story or these broader implications and enduring questions raised by Warmington's speech. There is the historical implications and reparations defining justice, and Warmington's call for Mark Golding to pay reparations is indeed groundbreaking. Traditionally, discussions around reparatory justice involve governments, institutions, or even former colonial powers. However, if traceable wealth directly derived from the horrific institutions of slavery was indeed passed down through generations, that create a valid basis for individual responsibility. This is a question, and this question is with profound ethical and legal ramifications. Like these follow-up questions for reflections, like should modern descendants of slave owners, particularly those who demonstrably inherited wealth connected to that history, be expected or morally obligated to contribute to the reparations initiatives? Conversely, what about the countless descendants of enslaved Jamaicans? How do they, within this framework, seek justice and redress for the intergenerational trauma and systemic disadvantages stemming these disadvantages are stemming from that period? These are not easy questions, and there are no simple answers. Number 2, the political strategy and the risks, like the price of divisive rhetoric. From a purely political strategy standpoint, politicians typically choose between a warm, inclusive approach or a more divisive, alienating one. Warmington here in this speech clearly gambles on stirring strong emotions. However, such an aggressive and identity-based approach can be double-edged sword. What do I mean? Well, it may galvanize a certain segment of the population. It also runs the significant risk of alienating others who may find it too extremist or unfairly targeted. And I want to give you a case study. It's worth noting that the JLP's history shows instances where other members of parliament have employed race-based attacks. And examining the outcomes of those past instances can offer insight into the potential efficacy or backlash of such tactics. For instance, Mark Golding himself has publicly decried the minister's statements as racist rhetoric that he believes actively damages Jamaica's global reputation, as reported by the Jamaica Gleaner. This suggests a potential negative ripple effect on the nation's international standing. And point number 3, Golding's position and response. The path forward. Mark Golding has not remained silent in the face of these accusations. He too has publicly spoken out, reportedly stating that he didn't choose his skin color, and characterizing the attacks by JLP members as desperate attempts This indicates his awareness and direct engagement with the controversy. Potential escalation, like should Golding choose to pursue legal action, perhaps through defamation, lawsuits, or seek an ombudsman report, this situation could escalate beyond mere political rhetoric into an official inquiry, potentially bringing the matter into the legal sphere, right? There is a key question for the ongoing narrative is whether Golding has yet responded with any publicly available genealogical paperwork or financial disclosures that could either substantiate or refute Warmington's claims. And if he does, how will this impact public perception? Will it help to clear his name or potentially complicate his position further? Your thoughts on this are highly valued, and I'd like to know what you think in the comments. Let us talk about social and ethical dimensions. The weight of inherited wealth. This debate will force us to confront a profound ethical dilemma. Should wealth inherited from historical injustice be condemned, or should it be a catalyst for compensation and restorative justice? It compels us to consider the long-reaching effects of historical economic structures. Think about it. Many prominent estates and fortunes across the globe were built directly or indirectly on the back of slavery, and the influence continues to shape global inequality today. So, perspective shift. If we accept the premise that inherited wealth, particularly when its origins are ethically dubious, it demands scrutiny. Where then do we draw the lines of accountability, and how do we apply this principle fairly? The reality is that Caribbean communities, including Jamaica, continue to be profoundly affected by the legacy of slavery. This raises the critical question of who, in the present day, bears the responsibility for addressing these enduring impacts and contributing to a more equitable future. It's a question that transcends individuals' blame and delves into systemic historical accountability. And the fifth one, I know you might be asking yourself, what's at stake right now? And the impending election, the upcoming general election in Jamaica looms large over this entire discourse. Because when you look at Warmington's confident prediction of the JLP clinching 49 seats, highlights the high stakes this speech therefore is not an isolated incident, but a deliberate part of the broader political narrative. And I know it aims to present voters with a stark moral contrast. Look at Prime Minister Holness and the JLP are framed as our own, representing the authentic Jamaican identity, while Mark Golding is cast as an outsider, discontented from the nation's true essence. I want us to have a reflection. The ultimate question remains: will the Jamaican electorate truly buy into this message, or will they, or will the intensity and potentially divisive nature of these attacks trigger a backlash, turning what was intended as a political asset into a significant liability for the JLP? And the public's reception will be critical in shaping the outcome of the election. So, guys, this entire situation is more than just a political spat. It's a profound call to consciousness, prompting us to reflect on fundamental principles like does ancestry genuinely determine the legitimacy of a leader in a modern democratic society? Who should ultimately bear a moral and financial burden of historical injustices, and how can that burden be effectively addressed? And finally, can political discourse, particularly in diverse nations, truly survive and thrive when subjected to such identity-driven attacks that aim to divide rather than unite? Let us continue with this important conversation, and I want you guys to check my pinned comment for additional resources, and feel free to share your own take on this complex issue in the comments, and I genuinely value your insights, and I will be actively replying to your thoughts. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, hit that notification bell to stay informed and updated about global political content like this. I'll also be closely monitoring for any further responses from Mark Golding or the British government, and I will provide a follow-up if there is a significant development that will occur. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Peace out.